blogging and podcasting pointers to grow your base and your business. Antoinette Blake, owner of A. Blake Enterprises, social media management and consulting. Today we're going to talk about why you should be using a blog and or a podcast in your social media marketing campaigns. Now, as we know, social media is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's not a fad, nor is it a future. And small business owners, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and side hustlers know that they need social media to drive traffic to their product, their service, their brand, and even their brick and mortar. But I suggest that you always have a blog or a podcast as part of that marketing campaign. Why? Because all those other social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever the case may be, they are all free platforms with a rented audience. If the powers to be of those free platforms decide to shut them down, change the algorithm, then guess what? You are at their mercy because it is a free platform. However, with a blog or a podcast, you own it. You decide what content that you're going to present, when you're going to present it, and how you're going to present it. Same thing with a podcast. You own it. You can decide when to upload a podcast, how to distribute that podcast, and to whom you wish to broadcast it to. Now, what you want to do is use those free platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the like, to drive traffic to your blog, to drive traffic to your website, to drive traffic to your podcast, and to drive traffic to your brick and mortar. So today, we're going to talk about blogging and podcasting pointers to grow your base and your business. As a small business owner, you know you need social media. But what and how are you going to do it? There are 5 reasons simply for starting a business blog. Again, those social media platforms are free. However, you are renting their audience. The people that are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, and the like have signed up with those platforms. They did not sign up on your blog to subscribe to your blog. They did not sign up to follow your website. They didn't sign up for anything unless you have driven them to your website, to your blog, or even to your brick and mortar. So remember, those social media platforms are free, but you're renting their audience. So the reason number 1 for creating a business blog is because it improves your company's brand. And what I like to say in H to H manner, heart to heart or human to human. We know that there are more people out there doing the same thing that you're doing, even though you may be doing it a little bit better, but your competition is great. So how are you going to connect with your target market audience? Via a blog, because you're going to be promoting more than just your product and or your service. People do not go to social media to be sold to. They go to socialize. Therefore, you have to present content that's going to be engaging and helpful to them. It's going to solve a problem or ease a pain point. And it's doing it in a likable human to human way. Years ago, not too long ago, when I was growing up in the 60s, you would turn on the television, 5 stations, probably black and white, but you saw everyone that looked the same. Not anymore. Businesses know that they have to connect with more than one type of person. So you see people of all ages, races, sizes, handicapped, disabled, whatever the case may be. So your company should be providing content that's holistic, that's more than one-dimensional, because we are multi-dimensional. We're women, we're wives, we're husbands, we're spouses, we're football players, we're a multitude of things. Therefore, the content that you create should be of something that is important to the whole person that you're targeting, not just one. Reason number 2 for building a business blog, there are more online opportunities. Because when you write a blog post, it's shared. Hopefully it's shared. So you're reaching out to more people. Think about it as throwing a pebble into a lake and watch the ripple effects. So people who are following your blog and the content is worthy of sharing, they will do so. Therefore, you have more online opportunities. You can share it. They'll share it on their social platforms. You may not always be on Twitter or Instagram, but they may share it on their Twitter or Instagram feeds. So number 2, it gives you more online opportunities. Number 3, it increases your networking on those free social media platforms. Like I said, you may write a blog post or create a podcast and you share it on your social media platform, your Facebook business platform, your Facebook business page. But you know what? Someone's going to share it on theirs, and so on and so on and so on. Again, it's that ripple effect. It's increasing your networking on various social media platforms. You don't even have to be a part of it, but someone else may, and they will be sharing it on theirs. Number 4, you get to spend more time with your audience. You know why? Because as they read your blog post and you give them a call to action or a CTA and you ask them for a comment or a statement, you're going to respond. Yes, you definitely need to respond to all comments, good, bad, or ugly. So you're going to be able to spend more intimate time with them on a blog or a podcast as opposed to scrolling through a feed on Facebook or tweeting, retweeting. And of course, SEO, search engine optimization. You want to rise up as the Google bots go through the internet to find out what's going on. And if you have a website, it's static. It doesn't change. If you're searching for a recipe or a blog post from 5 years ago, it'll pop up in Google. But a Twitter chat or a Facebook post is not going to be found. So using your blog and your podcast will help you rise up as people begin to share your content. So those are simply the 5 reasons for building a business blog. Blogging and podcasting pointers to grow your base and your business. Five tips for a successful business blog. You want to post consistently. Once a week is fine, but make sure it's once a week, every week. Twice a week is better, 3 times is great. But be consistent when you are blogging because people are going to start to follow you and they're going to come looking for you. If you are inconsistent with your posts, they're going to forget about you and go somewhere else. Number 2, content is king. We've heard it all. But let your customer wear the crown, meaning let the content be so good that people will want to share it. They become your advocates. Number 3, always use visuals, videos, graphics, GIFs. That's right. We as humans have the attention span that less of a goldfish. Therefore, we need to see pretty pictures, shiny objects. So make sure that with any blog post that you put out there, that you promote, you are using visuals, videos, graphics, GIFs, inspirational messages, quotes, whatever the case may be. We look for the visual before we read the content. Number 4, ABCs using the 3 E's. Always be creating and using the 3 E's. Make sure that your posts are entertaining, educational, and you appear to be the expert in your field. Always be creating. Think about what's exciting, what's happening, what's going on. As you drive, you see a beautiful sunset. You may want to post about that. As we come up on holidays, you may want to post about that. So always be creating. Those are your ABCs, using the 3 E's. Educational, entertainment, and being the expert in the field. And number 5, socialize and share. That's right. Remember I said people go to social media to socialize, not to be sold to. So make sure that your blogs are being shared in emails and newsletters. If you create a new podcast, make sure that it's shared in an email and a newsletter. Those are simply 5 tips for a successful business blog. If you want more information, you can always send me an email at info@ablakeenterprises.com. Podcasts. Oh, I read an article. Someone said, is podcasting taking over blogging? Well, I tell you what, I think that podcasting and blogging should be married because together they are very powerful. And the reasons for a business podcast, and we're just going to talk about Anchor FM today. I'm not going to talk about my blog, Social Media Sunday with the Delaware Blogger, which is every Sunday live on Blog Talk Radio. We're going to talk about the free. Yes, I said free. Free is my favorite F word. Right now, if you think about it, why should you have a podcast? Because look at that. Number one, there are currently over 70 million podcast listeners. That's right, 70 million. You want to get the ears of just a few. Number two, it's passive content that can be taken anywhere. You can listen to a podcast in the car as you're commuting, in the shower with a waterproof radio or waterproof device. You can listen to it while you're exercising, cooking. You can listen to a podcast anywhere. You can listen to a podcast in church while the preacher's supposed to be preaching. You've got your earbuds in listening to a podcast. So that's why I even tell religious organizations create a podcast. So people that cannot attend your services can listen to them anywhere at any time. A podcast builds onto your brand. It's a different medium. It's a great way to spread more information about not only your product, your brand, and or your service, but about you in general. Again, in an H to H manner. Single stream with a smartphone. Mostly everyone has a smartphone. If you have a smartphone, you have a podcast in your hand. Use it because you know what? It's simpler than videos. As you can tell, this video, came back on a slide. But you know what? I'm not going to redo that because I'm going to keep that as just an example of why creating a podcast is simpler than creating a video. Those are the reasons that I have for creating a business podcast via Anchor FM. It's easy. You download the app on an iOS or Android phone. You create an account, add a caption, a photo, or a logo. Record, then share. And guess what, people? Anchor FM is free, and they will upload it to iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, all the various high-end podcasting stations for you free. And you know what? Take that link. That link can be embedded in your website, your blog. It can be transcribed for a blog post or posting quotes or bits and pieces of it on your social media platform. You can take that podcast and break it into pieces and use it over and over again on a various different platforms. Here are a few podcasting tips. Think about your audience and then narrow your niche. You can't be everything for everybody. Who is it that you're trying to target? And then narrow it down even further and talk to them as if they were in your living room, your kitchen, your dining room table. Define your mission. What are you going to be doing? Are you going to be teaching? Are you going to be telling jokes? What is it that you want to do with your podcast? And stick with it. Not that you can't switch it up every once in a while, but define your mission. Create your brand voice. Are you going to be hysterically comic? Are you going to be serious? Are you going to be authoritative? Are you going to be whatever the case may be? Create your own voice. Only you can determine how you want to come across to your audience. And make sure, again, create your brand presence. Be consistent. If you're going to have a podcast once a week, have a podcast once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, every day. But make sure that you're out there and people know that you have a podcast. And last but not least, number 5, be consistent across all platforms. That same picture, that same logo, that same niche. Make sure that people know it's you. They will grow to trust you. They will grow to find you. And guess what? That will increase your bottom line. So those are just a few tips on why and how to make your podcast a success. Again, I am Antoinette Blake. You can reach me at ablakeenterprises.com. Send me an email at info@ablakeenterprises.com. I do individualized instruction. I'm running a special now, $399. And for that, you will get your digital footprint review with written recommendations and checklists. That's right. I will go through and I will find you on all your platforms and check it out, review it, and give you recommendations. We will have 3 hours of online training. We can break it up, 3 hours. We can do it in one spot, or we can do 1 hour a day, 1 hour a week. You will receive 3 step-by-step booklets on building a blog, the basics of building a blog, and 30 days of unlimited email support. If you'd like to find me, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest at Del Blogger, on Twitter at Delaware Blogger, on LinkedIn, I'm Antoinette Blake, and my blog is delblogger.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them to me at info@ablakeenterprises.com. And until the next time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social, because I will see you in cyberspace. It's the DE Diva, a.k.a. the Delaware Blogger. Have a blessed day.